We're getting back to basics right here because work has been a part of the human experience since the beginning. And I mean the very beginning. When God created the heavens and the earth, He created a garden, He put man in the garden, and He gave man an assignment to work. And even after the fall, we still had work. It just got harder. The need for work was greater, but work was still there. Pre-fall, after fall, before sin, after sin, work has been a constant in the human experience, and it is a part of the essential human experience, regardless of whether or not you're trying to make more money, make less money, whether it's good for the economy, bad for the economy. Work is good for humans. Welcome, everyone. Thank you for checking out the podcast. This is Right All Week, and I am Dave. And if you would like to interact on any of the remaining social media networks, please look for the username at Right All Week. If you want to send an email, those are welcome. The address is rightallweek@gmail.com. If I'm still on YouTube, please like, subscribe, share, and comment. And on all of the platforms, whether it's audio or video, do please share the content while we still can. Now, today is a very special episode of Epiphanies. Better late than never. Of course, there is such a thing as too late, but we'll see if that's the case in this specific situation. I'm referring to unemployment, the benefits and the situation that we're currently seeing right now that are the aftermath of the so-called COVID pandemic. So a while back, we started boosting people's incomes. We were taking the responsibility for the fact that people were jobless, because if you recall, we shut down pretty much everything, and all of you quote-unquote non-essentials out there suddenly found yourselves without income. So we took responsibility for that on the federal level and started putting out more money for the unemployed in unemployment benefits. Well, now we have the complete flip-flop of this situation in some places like Montana and Florida, where we have too many people collecting unemployment and too many jobs that are open that are not being filled. Well, we're fixing that in Florida by saying that we're suspending, or it used to be suspended, the searching. You have to prove that you're looking for a job. You have to show applications. That was suspended for a time because, hey, while we were shut down, then there was a limited number of jobs and all these people still needed their income. So we just kind of put that on the side and said, you can collect without looking for work. Well, that's over. There are too many jobs out there that aren't being filled. So yeah, that requirement is back on the books. In addition, the situation out there in Montana, too many jobs that aren't being filled. And so the way that they're going to solve it, or help to prompt people to solve it out there, is to take away the federally funded portion of the unemployment benefits. And people are all up in arms and they're feeling so offended because we're doing this, and they're trying to say that the state is doing something wrong. It's fully funded. It's federal money. It's free money. And as if federal funds doesn't equal taxpayer dollars, because that's exactly what that is. At the same time, though, we have people who are on the left who you wouldn't typically expect to say things like this. Maria Bartiromo pointing out pretty much, yeah, I wonder is it possible that the unemployment benefits are contributing to the rise in unemployment? Yeah, it kind of does. It sounds like something that we have said before. But at the same time, former Vice President Biden is out there trying to make it sound like somehow a number of these disappointing numbers are actually a good thing. And I'm wondering to myself, is that because it's somehow a tacit subconscious admission that they actually like it better this way? Or is it more of the usual, typical, everyday, average, run-of-the-mill gaslighting? You don't see what you see. These are not the jobs you're looking for. Perhaps something kind of like that. But I think it really is, maybe it's both. Honestly, I think that's probably the right answer. But it's got to be evident now. Two things are true, all right? The signs that they post at the wildlife preserves and at the national parks where they say, hey, don't feed the animals, is because we all understand you can't take away individuals' personal responsibility to sustain themselves, or you destroy their spirit. They become dependent and subjected to and are reliant on the provisions from something else. So we know that we don't want to do that to the animals because it's bad for them, but they're okay with doing it to humans. But it's a complete perversion of your created design, the created order. Before we even had the fall, you read back into the ancient text, it tells you right there was work in the garden. It is good for humans to work. It's bad for humans not to work. So they're doing something bad when they're trying to find ways to make it possible for humans to not work. It's bad for you. So my advice is, let's get the message out there. Get a job, everybody. Find a way to be productive. It's good for you and the health, and it's also good for you mentally, spiritually, emotionally. There's joy in it. There's delight. There's pleasure. There's the healthy kind of pride when you actually have some measure of success and you understand, you get that feeling of, yeah, I'm taking care of business right now. That's good for you. And the opposite of that, somebody else always taking care of you. There's so much evidence in history, and we've even got anecdotal evidence, because people like a good story, right? Like, Adam Carolla's story about what it was like growing up in a home with a mom who was totally reliant on the government and had absolutely zero desire to go out and make anything of herself and her life and find a way to get any of the nice things. You can't have nice things if you're constantly riding the minimum. If all you get is the status quo minimum of what the government says for you, then you're never going to rise above. But you can, if you take that initiative and you go to work and you take care of business, you take care of yourself and your family, and you grow and you prosper. So that's what I'm encouraging everyone to do. I'm encouraging you, if you've finished this podcast, to share this content. If you agree with me, I'd like to know, drop a comment. If you disagree, come at me, bro, because I'd like to talk about this and see what we can do to get the message out there for everyone. I'm okay with persuading people because I believe that it's a winning message. You being a winning person is a winning message. So I want you to win, and I like it when everybody wins. So thank you very much for finishing the podcast. Thank you for checking out Right All Week. Please come back for more content in the future where we talk about what's right, how it's right, and why it matters.